So in this video, I'm going to share a way to rekindle the erotic flame in any relationship without having to buy or Google anything. And what's best? The solution I propose here is a permanent one. All right, but enough with the suspense. Let's talk about sex. Humans are biologically programmed to become used to anything we repeat enough times. Whether it's your favorite song, the best meal you've ever tasted, or the noise of planes flying over your home all day, if that experience is repeated enough times, it will lose much of its impact on you. In extreme cases such as pianists who practice the same piece too often, or darts players, for example, who always throw with the same motion, the repetition can lead to a complete inability to even perform at all. The only way to escape this is to change up your routine, even in small, subtle ways. We know this from athletes who cannot repeat the same practice regimen over and over and expect to strengthen their muscles. They have to switch it up, adjust their form, or change their resistance. We can apply the same principle to our sex lives. An interesting sex life is not about constantly finding new things to do. It is about finding different shades in the same things you have been doing all along. A kiss is not just one thing. You can kiss with tongue, bite a lip, kiss as soft as you can, lick the other person's lips, suck at your partner's tongue, kiss rough, up against the wall, rolling around on the floor, kiss the neck, arms, stomach, legs. You can pull hair. There's so many different ways, to do one thing. We only say to it, kiss, but it can mean 1,000 different things. So, and the same is obviously true for intercourse. Sex is hardly just one thing. It's romantic, it's wild, it's tense, it's dirty, it's innocent, it's soft, it's salty, sweaty, quick, slow, rough, dominant. It can be loud or silent, and the list goes on and on. The same principle applies to every other element of pleasuring each other. It's like switching from business news to the Animal Channel. Both qualify as watching TV, yet they differ quite a bit, and I think you'd agree. And also, it's much easier to get your partner on board with varying your tried and true activities than to get them to agree to you installing, heavy-duty beams in your bedroom to hang a sex swing from. And if you want to add toys or role-playing, that's great, because that just adds more possibilities. But the key insight here is that you don't have to invent something new. You just have to explore every new nook and cranny of the stuff you already do and both like. Let me put all of this in practical terms for a second. Let's say you always have sex with the same playlist in the same bed in the evening with the lights turned off. And you utilize the same positions also. So how could we make this more interesting? Well, you could change or turn off the music. New music means new rhythm, and new rhythm means new experiences. You could keep the exact same routine, but do it at a different time. The same stuff can feel so different in the morning, for example. Another idea is that you could explore other ways to do the same position. Maybe you both enjoy her being on top the most. That's great. However, try to switch how much she sits up in that position. From both of you sitting up to you laying down completely, there are lots of options, and each of them feels completely different to both of you. This is just one example of how to apply this advice. So be creative and most of all curious. This is about getting your brain excited first and foremost, because sex is at least as much mental as it is physical. So if you want to revive your sex life, don't look for the new, but take the tried and true and come up with new variations. Your partner will thank you for it. The second major aspect of your sex life is communication. I know that topic sounds lame, but actually it's super interesting if you do it in the right way. So many people in relationships know exactly what they would need to have a better sex life, but don't share it with their partner. I know it can be scary to share some of your, most kinky desires, but if you don't talk about it, you'll always feel dissatisfied with your sex life, and you might even look elsewhere to get your needs met. So I suggest you set up a romantic evening with your partner that is reserved solely for sex talk. A judgment-free space, where both of you are allowed to voice all your thoughts about sexuality, intimacy, and all of that stuff. And you don't disrupt each other. You let your partner finish. Sorry, I couldn't help but make that pun. Of course, finish your thoughts. So only after you have both talked should you go on and find solutions. But you should always agree to allow the other person to feel safe. You know that no matter what you do or say during sex, it will be met with an open mind rather than defensiveness. Sex is a team effort, so without being aligned mentally as well as physically, it will never be great. Of course, all of this can also be done in a guided setting with a sex therapist, and I'm the first to recommend that. Even before you have any problems in the bedroom. Lastly, one quick tip, but if you get this one wrong, nothing else you do matters. You have to be present during sex. Well, duh, I know you're physically present, but what I mean is mental presence and being in the moment with your partner. Too many of us are in our heads during sex because we think of stuff that turns us on to come quicker, or we wonder if our partner likes what we're doing, or we already look forward to the delicious meal afterwards. No matter what is going on in your mind during sex, cut it out. The sexiest thing is an emotional connection. When you have that, everything syncs up. Your breathing, your rhythm, your eye contact, and your mind is free of any thoughts. You are fully with your partner, and your mind is completely focused on feeling them rather than thinking. Getting this right takes practice and a dedicated effort from both of you to get there. But once you do, your sex life will not just be good, but it will be transcendent, And trust me, you really want that. Also, if you don't get this right, you will never have a great sex life. It's as simple as that. I hope the tips here got your creative juices flowing and motivated you to do something about the quality of your erotic experiences. I'm confident that if you penetrate the problem from all angles, you'll have great success. As always, what you put in is what you get out. Well, of course, the effort you put in. What a dirty mind you viewers have.